a sensation in the head. I'll do this just 2 times. You harden your teeth, you harden your neck, you feel a little sensation in your head. Now, when you harden your teeth and harden your neck, just squeeze the anal muscle or the perineal muscle or the PC muscles. Just squeeze it together while you harden your neck. You will see something will move straight into your head. That is a dry orgasm. Try it again. 1, 2, squeeze the anus muscle and harden your teeth and your neck, and you feel the energy move into your head. Now, if you have an erection and you do this a number of times, your erection will subside, your desire for sex goes down, and if you are reading, you can absorb. Most creative people use their sexual energy in creativity. If you want to create something, if you want to think of something, if you want to invent something, if you want to come up with something that no one has come up with, the best energy to use is to harness your sexual energy, move it into your brain, and use the brain power to create. That is the creative force. That is the power that God gave you. That is the breath of life that God put into you. And I tell you, that makes you a living being, and that makes you creative. And I tell you, if you would harness your sexual energy, you can move the sexual energy into every part of your body. Organ by organ, with your brain, you direct the energy there. Just don't waste that energy. Young men and women, don't just feel that so long as you want to have sex, you should have it and throw the energy out. The energy can be circulated in the body to heal the body, to make you think well, to make you creative. And I'm saying all you do basically is squeeze the anus muscle and direct the energy from the genital all the way through the spine into your head. Leave it there if you want to learn. But if you want to use it for reserve energy or any other thing, you have to bridge your tongue to the roof of your mouth so it comes straight into your stomach, your dantian. That is where the energy can be stored. It's very simple. At an appropriate time, I'm going to teach step by step how to run your sexual energy through the microscopic orbit. Currently, I just want children who are sexually pressed and think that they can't control to move the energy into their heads and learn. My children do it. I have a son in the Legon. He does it. I taught him. So it's doable. It is doable. Not impossible. It can be done. Once you feel sexual, once you feel aroused, just move the energy, squeeze the anus muscle, direct it with hardening your teeth and your neck. The energy moves up into your head, and then you keep it there. Pick a book and see, and you can absorb better. My number is on the screen. If you still don't get it, we can still talk. And most people are having issues, most people are having problems because they think they can't control, or abstinence is not possible, and they want children to be using condoms, and they call something safe sex. I don't even know what it is. But as we go on, you're going to see that there's nothing that is safe when it comes to sex. Everybody can get one problem or the other. Great. So let's keep going. Now, there is another type of sex education that can be given to our children that is called health and safety oriented sex education. Health oriented sex education. And this is teaching the children the basics of birth control and sexual contents. I'm saying that you have to adapt what you want to teach your child. Whether you want your child to be doing the abstinence only, or you want your child to be doing health and safety oriented sex, where the children are given lessons in which they are allowed to choose the different form of birth controls that they feel they would use or want to use, forgetting that once they continue to use progestin, which is a synthetic form of progesterone, especially with the women, it would affect fertility later on in their lives when they want to have children. Some people talk about condoms and all those things, but you know condoms break, and there are many times doctors have to remove torn condoms inside the woman's private area with tools, because it gets stuck in there and then she bleeds and she gets bacterial vaginosis out of that. So this form of education focuses primarily on the physical well-being of the child, and then they receive this type of education and get them equipped to prevent themselves, prepare themselves emotionally for the implications of having sex. So you have to choose. Once you decide you want to have sex and all these things are taught to you, you would have to be ready for the implications. And then all the implications are lined up. So Ghana, Africa, we have to choose what is in sync with our beliefs, what is in sync with our culture, and choose what we want our children to learn. Great. And then also we have the comprehensive sexuality reproductive health. This Ghana adopted this one and started using it. And here, adolescents, young people are they are equipped with the needed information about healthy sex, about reproduction or reproductive life, and the negative outcomes of engaging in sex. And then also the program teaches sexual activity among adolescents as normal, that sex that if you are an adolescent, having sex is a normal thing. And then also talks about practicing safe sex. That is where the government brought in condoms to be given to school kids, which most people started fighting over some time back. You remember, this was a type of education that the country decided to teach us. So comprehensive sexuality education in Ghana is not new. It is not new, only that people were adding certain things, adding this gay lesbian stuff that was actually not part of the curriculum that we adapted, or Ghana was doing. So this has been demonstrated. People have taught this in schools, but my issue is those who are teaching it, the main reason, their main intentions, and how they are teaching it is the problem. So this is another type that makes the children understand HIV, STDs, how to prevent it, contraception, contraceptive pills, unwanted pregnancies, and then how to get skills to understand gender and sexuality and reproductive rights. This is where people were talking about allowing the children to understand that a boy and a boy can be together, or a girl and a girl can be together. And this is where we're having issues with not long ago. So it's important that we choose what type of education we would want our children to have. And as a parent, if you are watching, this is what Ghana was doing before this hot debate came up. We're doing the SRH type. And then we also found out that even when we're doing this, most of the children were experimenting sex before they even entered into primary schools. And there's a research that showed that 23% of the females and 27% of the males had already engaged in sex before they were taught anything about sex. When they went into the JSS, they had already engaged in sex. And I usually would love to put my research out so people won't say that I am just saying it. On the basis of this results, it was recommended that age appropriate sexuality education should start early, simply because our children were having sex even before they hit age 7 and age 8. Yes, here in Ghana, they were doing it even before age 7 and age 8. So it is very important that we teach them, so they get to know the dangers, so they don't get into it. So we teach with the core reason being abstinence, abstaining from it. So from by the time they get to primary school, by the time they get to JSS, they should have some knowledge about sexuality and some good education about it as well. And then also, half of the students that were, had the survey, more than half of them in the survey came out to have had problems with their reproduction. And one Dr. Kofi Asare did this research in the University of Cape Coast. So it is not me sitting here and talking. This is something that was very, very critical, that we begin teaching our children about sex early. Once we provide them with the needed information, we are able to save them from all the dangers that comes with it. So teachers will be actually resourced with what they need to teach the children, depending on what the government chooses to use. The teachers should be equipped with the necessary skills, and parents should be involved in what the teachers are teaching their children. And specific teachers are supposed to be selected in teaching this, because if you have a teacher who is hooked to sex, he is rather going to pollute the kids. But if you have a teacher who has abstinence as its core, you're going to help the teachers and the children abstain from sex. So it's based on the teacher. It's very, very important who is teaching. And if you are a parent, you would also have to know what they are teaching, the standards, what they are teaching, whether it is adequate, whether it's appropriate, before you allow your child to get into those areas. So parents should also get involved in this type of education. All right, so next we'll look at the almighty comprehensive sex education that has become so much of a talk in this country. Now, with the comprehensive sexuality education, which we know, or which most people who are against or opposed to teaching these children about sex, what it actually teaches is, it teaches them about abstinence, but it doesn't tell them to abstain. There's a teaching about abstinence, but it doesn't tell them to abstain. It talks about sexually transmitted infections and gives them a way to protect themselves from sexually transmitted infections and unwanted pregnancies, and then teaches them how to use condoms and contraceptive pills, and also teaches them that a boy can have sex with a boy, a girl can have sex with a girl. And that is what we are saying that is against our culture, it's against our norms, and we are not going to allow those things to come into our system. But students that learn the basic skills around sex are able to negotiate and learn how to please their partners without necessarily engaging in anything romantic, anything sexual, before it is time to get involved with. So comprehensive sex education also addresses diverse sexual orientations, and that is what we're having issues with. So all the controversies, or the controversial part of this sexuality education, just has to do with the diverse sexual orientation that it talks about. And it is also been seen that with this, teenage pregnancies has gone down, STDs go down, and students are better prepared for sex whether they are waiting until after marriage or not. But I can also assure you that with what I have taught you right now, you can abstain, you can avoid, you can live, you can learn, you can grow, you can mature, you can become better without having sex, and nothing would happen to you until your frontal lobe is completely developed, when you fully mature and you become what you want to become. All right, so after having gone through the basic different types of sexuality education, my time is fast spent. I only have some few minutes to become interactive with you. Next week, God willing, we will come and look at age appropriate sexuality education. When your child is 2 years, what you should teach. When your child is 5 years, what you should teach. When your child is 8, the things you should tell your child as age per age till they hit puberty and then become adults, and then you can live their lives for them. So stick and stay with us. We will be here next week to continue with this very educative class we are having on adult class on GNTV and ATV. But for now, I'll end Mr. Smooth's classroom and then activate the phone lines, and then we become interactive. Whatever you want to share with me, we can share it. Also, the phone line for you to call will be, when you are calling, ensure that you lower your TV set before you call, because if you don't, we will take you off, and then it also causes some sort of a jam on our network. Beautiful. So yeah, the phone line is on the screen. You can call us and then we can become interactive. Now, if you're having any difficulty with your sex life, you can call my number. My number will be brought back after the phone-ins. You can call me. If most people are struggling today because of jobs and no money and all the stuff, there are other opportunities. There are other businesses we can look at. So if you face that issue, just link up with me. Let's find simple ways that we can all keep our heads up and keep going. Okay, so yes, while we wait for the phone calls, let me check if I have. Don't call this line, call the 0 line. That is what we can pick you on. All right, so don't call this line, call the 020 line, so we can pick and talk to you on it. So let me read this message. Thank you very much. Good job. All right. Hi, yes. Good evening. Your name and where you?
Actually, when I was about 14, 15, I was playing with uncle, and then boys raped me and got me pregnant. But because of how my auntie was, I couldn't approach him or tell her what was going on. So I approached a friend, and then she got me a medicine. After I took the medicine, I was better one. So the only person I can touch you is my friend. And then that she took her to nothing. So I couldn't have anything to do with her again. And then after the baby, I have lost my base, my space, everything. It's giving me psychological problems. I've been thinking about it now 20 years, and this thing is hunting me, it's hunting me, and I don't know what to do. I don't know
all right,
what to do, and I don't want to touch you. Who can help me? So please,
okay.
if you can help me.
What we'll do is we can't do this sort of therapy on live here. So you have my number 0244661011. Call me. Let's have a chat. Let's find a way to help you. Hello, caller. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Please, Yeah, I'm from Akamara.
Okay, let's hear you, Yao.
Okay, this is, I want, having who I wanted to marry. Yeah, and she told me when she was 25 years and I was from there, maybe having her met. So I'm afraid whether I don't know whether she can get very much or I don't know whether to go.
You see, there are a lot of tests you can do to check whether a woman is fertile or not. So you call me, let's direct you to someone who is more knowledgeable in that area to get you a test to do, and after the test we are able to ascertain whether the abortion she did took over her. If she's still fertile, we'll be able to know. I don't want to scare you with anything. Just let's you call me, let's talk. Hello, caller. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, call me, let's talk later.
Thank you.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from. Your name and where you're calling from. Okay, we lost that caller. Now, if you are loving my shirt was given to me by Ish Boutique. Ish Boutique is located in Medina, on the road to Hammer School. You have Ish Boutique there. That is Ish. Thank you very much for the shirt. All right, hello, caller.
Hello.
Your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Kofi. I'm calling from Bali.
Okay, Kofi, let's hear you.
My name is Kofi.
All right, let's hear you, Kofi.
Yes, please. Please, I'd like to know, this is my first time I'm watching this program. And I'd like to know if this program is for married people or for normal adults. Because to me, I believe that until a man or a woman is married, sex is out. So please advise me on that. I don't know. It's my first time on seeing this program.
All right. Adult class is 1 year. Adult class is 1 year old. 1 year, some months old, and we are teaching adults. And our main intention is to get information to adults, and we also want adults to get married before they engage in sex. Whatever we are teaching, we are targeting the couples, married couples. Yes, of course, there'll be people who are not married who will watch, but the intention is for them to learn, and when they get married, apply. Basically, that is our concept.
Thank you.
Thank you too. All right, so we have another call on the line. Hello. I am going to God bless you, good job. Send me God bless me, good job, and look at the picture you have sent me. Naughty boy. All right, so okay, your shirt looks good on you. Thank you very much, Naomi Sa. Thank you. It was given to me by Ish Boutique. Whoa, I'm really enjoying your program tremendously well. Thank you so much for the teachings. Monarch. All right, Monarch. Okay, so this one says hello. You didn't say anything. Okay, although I have a call on the line. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Monarch. I'm calling from Gomorrah.
Monarch, okay, I think I read your message, right? Okay, let me hear you. Yeah, let me hear you.
I would like to talk Papa Smooth.
I'm listening to you. Reduce the volume of a TV set.
Hello. Yes, please, my boss. I really miss you so much, and I'm really enjoying your program, boss.
You see, if you have your TV set on and the volume is so loud, we can become interactive, because then you'll be there'll be too much of the echo in here. So Monarch, try again. I just tuned in and I want to hear more about how to transmute the sexual energy into the brain. I think I've already tweeted that. Get to my YouTube channel and you'll find it, because we stream live today. It's on my YouTube channel, so you can have it on my YouTube channel. Papa Kwamna, Mr. Smooth. You'll find this recording there. Great. And then let me do one last message, and my time is up. I will run out of the studio. Thank you very much for the wonderful things you are teaching us, and as a parent I am really learning a lot, and I didn't know these things, but I'm going to use it in teaching my children. That's the main reason why we are here doing this. So, like I said, thank you very much for watching the adults class. My time is fast spent and I have to run out of the studios. Next week, same time from 10 to 11 p.m. the adult class would continue. Like I said, we're going to be teaching you specifically age appropriate sexuality education, what you should teach your child per the age. That's what we'll be teaching you next week, God willing. So like I said, if you have any discussion you want to have with me, you want to have any private chat with me, my number is on the screen. And then also for those who are looking for some side businesses, some side jobs to create some extra income, my number is on the screen. Call me and then let's meet and put pen on paper and see what we can do together to all generate some extra income and continue keeping our heads up. All right, so until then, it's goodbye and thanks for the entire crew for making this show happen. Thanks to Mustafa and the entire GN and ATV crew for allowing this program to come to you. Thank you very much. See you next week.
Chama,